Hey y'all. I'm hoping this is working. Hello, hello, hello. It is working. Okay. All right. Hello. Let me cut that off. So I'm going to get started in about a minute. As you're coming on, please say hi. Tell me where you're viewing from. Tell me what your name is. I hope it's public. I think it is public. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Hi. Okay. I see people. Okay. Hello. Hi, Miss Sharon. Hi, Miss Yvette. Hello, hello, hello. I should have tried the presenting option to make sure it comes up, but we should be fine. So I'm going to give about another minute and I'll get started. I'm going to do the giveaway after I tell the story, just so we have as many people on here as possible. Um, and the story is not very long, at least not to me. So, hello, hello, hello. As you're coming on, please say hi. Tell me where you're viewing from. Tell me what your name is. How's your day going today, y'all? I was really upset. Not really upset. Let me stop being dramatic. But when I was at the hospital, they told me that I had to physically go and go to the Social Security office to get baby girl Social Security submitted. And I went all the way there just for them to say, "Oh, you have to wait for her birth certificate to come." So I was like, "Really?" I really didn't want to really be going anywhere like that right now. Just sitting around the house resting. Um, but it is what it is, right? All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, just so I don't have you guys up here forever, because I don't want to be up here forever. And to be honest, she's probably about to wake up. I tried to time it as good as I could so that I could maybe um, maybe share her with you all by the end, like as she wakes up by then. Hey, Brittany. Girl, I'm not up and at it nowhere. I'm in this house, okay? I tried to move around. My husband was home with me. So I tried to move around like 2 days ago, I think. We went to Target to return some stuff that we got double duplicates of at the beginning. Hey, LaRonda. We went, I hope it's not messing up. And we went a couple of places just to go grocery shopping, that kind of thing. And I felt it the next day. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit down somewhere and not be trying to do the most. Okay. So no, I'm not doing very much at all. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna open this up with prayer just because I like to. Please let me know, guys, if I'm going in and out, because on the screen is saying that my service is like in and out, but on my screen I look perfectly fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead with it. So, dear Heavenly Father, we just come before you today and we just say thank you so much, God, for waking us up this morning and allowing us to see another day. God, we ask that you have your way in this live today, God, even though it seems like a simple live of sharing my birthing story and announcing the winner. God, we know that you show up in all situations and circumstances. So we just want to allow you to have your way. God, I ask that you touch your people, God, that you give them peace, clarity, and direction, God, that you continue to remind them that you truly have every answer to every question they will ever have, and that we are working harder when we try to figure it out on our own and add you in at the end, but we should always come to you first. So, God, I just ask that you have your way, and we give you all the praise, glory, and honor. In Jesus Christ's mighty name we pray. Amen, 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 amen. She's moving. I just want to make sure she don't wake up. All right. So hello, everyone. For those who may be new to the channel, my name is Destiny Thomas, as it says on the screen. I'm known to most as the Prayerpist, and that's because I assist high-achieving women with confidently being able to hear the voice of God for themselves, to heal internally, and realize their destiny, which is why my company is known as Realizing Destiny. Not only that, but my YouTube channels were created actually to share some of the behind the scenes of how I'm myself on a journey of coming to the realization of who I am, destiny, right? In different capacities, as a mother, as a wife, as the Prayerpist, as an aunt, as all the things, right? I haven't really done a good job of showing that on my YouTube channel, but hopefully, prayerfully, one day I will. Okay, but I do use it for live prayer, to share different videos whenever I feel led to. I do want to share some retreat videos soon, that I'm working on. But like I said, I'm not doing very much. So when I get bored, I work on stuff, and then yeah. So, but for today, I just want to come up here and share my birthing story. And really, when I share my stories, if you've been following me long enough, you know it's because I want to share a lesson or something that God taught me. Hold on. Somebody say you're late. I'm actually already live, darling. She probably on my other channel. Um, hold on, Prayerpist page. But yeah, it's because because I like to share the lessons that I learned in the process, right? Because a lot of times when you're going through stuff, you don't really understand why, or you're kind of in your emotion, especially when you're pregnant. Um, And so I want to share my birthing story and some of the lessons that I learned during it. So the last time I went live, which was a couple of weeks ago, maybe months ago, I was sharing how God was really teaching me the importance of being content in your circumstances, and how I would always get to that part of the song Jireh and like really sing it from the top of my lungs, right? Like, God, I really am content in my circumstances. And the Lord really began to do some inner work with me and showed me to be okay with contentment. That even though the world teaches us that contentment is complacency, that's not what it is, right? And contentment is really a word that coincides with stewardship, right? When you're content in your circumstances, that means you're in a space of stewarding well what He's given, right? And not focused on going to the next place, right? And so that was one of the biggest lessons He taught me during my pregnancy, of just being content, right? Content in not worrying about when the baby comes. I mean, of preparing where you should, but not like over analyzing it. Um, and like not worrying about things just in general before they happen. So the other lesson I learned was, so I'm gonna share the person story and then I'll share the lesson. So as you guys know, if you follow me on social media, I kept posting like I was walking, I was doing all the things to try to get her out. I was just being a little extra, if I be honest, because she had moved down so low. It was really, really, really uncomfortable. However, she was really like, when I first started walking and doing the stairs and stuff, I think I was on like 37 weeks, right? And most people don't have their baby until like 39 weeks, 40 weeks, anyways, unless you have like twins or, things like that, where they induce you stuff like, circumstances like that, which I didn't have anything. Glory to God. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have, I passed my glucose test. I did all the good things, right? So I wasn't high risk or anything like that. So there was really no reason other than her moving down herself to make us think she would come sooner. And then, of course, Destin came at 38 weeks. So he did come 2 weeks early. So other than that, and my kids are big when they come out. So, but in regards to health reasons, there was no reason for her to be induced or me to be induced any sooner. But I just was really, really, really uncomfortable, right? So I was just being extra and wanting her to come out and wanting to see her and all those things. But what ended up happening was I went to the doctor and I put it on social media. They said I was 1.5 centimeters dilated. Now with KJ, when I was at 1 centimeter dilated, I came home every day after work because I was working then, and walked on the treadmill, literally walked, not ran, guys, but walked on the treadmill for like 15, 20 minutes. And by the end of that week, he was here. All right. So I was like, oh, we're at 1.5. I could walk, I could do the stairs, and homegirl gonna come. No, okay. She was like, I'm coming when I want to come. Okay. And we're all trying to figure out when she's gonna come. Because if you know the story with my sons, the Lord specifically told my mom their due dates. And like, I mean, exact due dates, and she was right. So my first son was born on February 8th. My mom said it, and he was born on February 8th. My second son was born on June 28th, literally the day before my birthday. My mom said it, and that's when he was born. So none of us really knew when Corinne was going to be born, outside of just her due date being June 19th, right? And I'm really uncomfortable. I'm doing the walking, but I didn't want to try any of like the castor oil. I did do spicy food. So one of my friends reached out to me. He's like, Destiny, you should try this evening primrose oil, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm not trying. Like I said, I don't want to do castor oil or nothing like that, because it will help you go in labor. But sometimes once you go in labor, like especially if you're planning on doing natural, you might do number 2 on yourself, right? In the middle of labor. And I'm like, I'm trying to prevent that this time, because I did that last time. Okay. And so I was like, I'm trying to stay away from that stuff. But it was one night, it was like really, really, really bad. I went to the doctor. I only moved to 2 centimeters after being at 1.5. So it's like all this work, I only moved 0.5. So I ended up doing the evening primrose oil. And after doing it, I was like, I don't know what this feeling is, but I definitely feel like I'm dilating more than I was, right? However, once we get to the hospital, I realized I wasn't. But what the evening primrose oil ended up doing with it, actually ruptured my water, right? And so when it comes to labor and delivery, there's only 2 ways they'll keep you in the hospital. Number 1 is if your water breaks or ruptures. Number 2 is if you're in active labor and they check you through your cervix and you're at least at 5 or 6 centimeters, right? Some will keep you at 4 if you're actively contracting, but most won't keep you till you're at 5 centimeters, right? So, so I get to June 9th. Well, no, June 6th, June 7th, all these days, I literally am having contractions, but they won't stay. They come and go. They come and go. Okay? So June, and now I have taken my hair out. And so I'm like, listen, little girl, I know you want the show to be about you. Please, y'all don't laugh at me. I'm just being very honest and transparent. But I was like, sis, I know you want to do this on your own. You want to come when you want to. But now my hair is out and my hair appointment is on the 8th. So I'm going to need you to just wait until I get my hair done on the 8th. Okay. And then you can do whatever you want after that. Right. My mom's like, are you really serious? And I was like, girl, real serious. Right. So, and I wasn't getting my hair done until the night on the 8th. Right. So I ended up, as I was getting my hair done, I felt this pressure. Right. But I was like, I don't think my water broke, but it's something like I definitely feel a little like leaking, right? But not my water breaking, right? So, but I'm like, at this point, I got my hair done. I'm tired because we didn't get done until like midnight. So I'm like, I'm just gonna take a shower. Or I was liking to sit in the warm bath. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit bath, wash, and go to bed, and we'll just see what happens tomorrow. The next morning, I'm like, I want to have like a celebratory breakfast because I have a feeling she's coming either today or I'm going to have a celebratory breakfast because I feel like she's coming either today or tomorrow, right? So there's this place where I live. It's called Hair of the Dog. It's a weird name, but I promise have really, really good food. And so it's called Hair of the Dog. So I ordered from there, and I got some. God, don't judge me. I like a real fat girl moment. I ordered some chicken and waffles, some biscuits and gravy, some shrimp and grits and eggs. And the chicken and waffles, the waffles have bacon in them. Like, it's so good, right? Now I would have to say the last time I ordered from there, their their serving seemed to get a little bit bigger, or I just forgot because it was a whole bunch of food. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm like, okay, and if you know me, I don't like waiting. So I called the order in, get myself together, and then go pick it up because I know my food ready. I can come home, eat it, whatever. So as I'm literally walking to the door, my sister texts me. It's my sister's birthday is on June 9th. So she texts me, she said, "You only gotta keep her in one more day," because my sister did not want her to have her birthday, right? And I can't judge her because my son was born on June 28th, and I was like, "Look, he can come on June 28th and he can come on June 30th, but do not come on my birthday. I want my own birthday and I want you to have your own birthday," right? So literally, as I'm texting my sister back, I feel this, right? And I'm like, I know my water didn't just break, right? I'm like, baby, I gotta get my food. So I'm like, okay, I put my stuff down. I go to the bathroom to check, and it is wet. But I just wash up, change my clothes, and I go get my food. Because before I'll be like, girl, you're crazy. If you know, once your water breaks, you're not in active labor. I know the movies make you believe that, but that's not how it works. Unless you're having active contractions, you're not in labor. So what'll happen is, so with Destin, my water broke, right? So I called the doctor. I said, "Hey, my water broke." They're like, "Okay, make it up to the hospital by at least 6 p.m." I get there at 6 p.m. They do this color test, right? They take this strip and they put it, up there. And if it changes blue, that means that you're leaking or there's some type of fluid or your water broke, right? So that means they're gonna keep you. You cannot go home after this because now you're leaking oil. I mean, leaking oil, leaking water, right? And then depending on if you're having active contractions or not, hey Blanca, um, Christina, I was serious, okay? Depending on if you're having contractions or not, that's what they decide, right? So, for example, with Destin, when I got there at 6, they checked me. My water did break. I just sat there, and then they give you no more than about 10 hours with your water broke, or I think it's like 10 to 12 hours. And then after that, they put you in active labor. They give you Pitocin, right? So from the time my water broke, I literally was not in labor until almost 12 hours later, right? So I know this from Destin. I'm like, I'm not about to rush up to these people's hospital and be sitting in this uncomfortable bed. They about to inject me with all this Pitocin to try to push this baby out. Let me eat my breakfast, okay? Because they don't feed you either. Once they keep you, they're not feeding you until you have the baby, okay? So for those of y'all who ain't had no kids or maybe having kids, take these notes, okay? Because I don't want you to go in there and be upset thinking you about to eat. Because once they admit you, they know and they check you and your water has broke, they know they're gonna have to put you in labor within a certain amount of hours. They're not going to let you eat. Okay. I was like, so I went and changed and I and I drove to get my food. Okay. So I go get my food. I get in back in the car. Now I'm like really uncomfortable because I definitely feel there's some leaking happening. And it's not like no, like they make it on the movie. It's literally like it feels like you might be peeing on yourself, but not like a gush, like just I don't know. Anyway, so so I pull out of the driveway from the food place, and literally a little bit up the street, I hear this. I call my mom and my husband to tell them my water broke. But they know once again, they knew I was not trying to rush to no hospital because I don't want to sit in no hospital for 12 hours again. It was just too much for me, right? You got all they have you attached to all the machines to make sure the baby's heart is beating right. And it's just a lot if when you're not going to be in labor anytime soon. So, and I called my doctor, let her know. And she was like, just make sure you make it up here by a certain time. So, after I hung up with my mom, I called my husband and then I called my mom. After I hang up with my mom, I hear this noise and it sounds like my tire blew. And I'm like, really? Right now? So I pull over into the parking lot and my tire, like literally I didn't have a flat tire, like it blew. And I don't know how, because to be honest, I believe that tire was the last one we got. But anyways, my tire blew. So I'm like, I'm sitting here leaking. And I got my breakfast in this car to be all ready to eat. And now my tire done blew. So I call my husband and I'm like, you're not gonna believe this. He's like, what? I'm like, my tire blew. And he's like, where are you at? Why are you not at home? I thought you said your water broke. What are you doing? I'm like, I just went to go get me a celebratory breakfast. And he's like freaking out because my husband, even though he knew I wasn't trying to rush it out, he doesn't really understand. Like, he's been there for all 3 labor deliveries, but he don't really understand what's going on. The baby come out. Just being honest. And so, so he's like, "You're gonna be sitting in the car. I already was leaving work anyways because you're about to go to the hospital, but now you're sitting in the hot car." And I'm like, "Yo, chill. Like, I'm not upset. Like, I'm gonna call this good ERS. I'm gonna turn this AC on, and I'm gonna eat my breakfast." Okay. And now I'm gonna eat it in peace and quiet without Diamond trying to bark near my food. Okay, so we good. Like, there's no need to be upset. I promise. So he's like, "No, I'm gonna call my sister to come get you." I'm like, "Well, just tell her don't rush. I want to finish at least my chicken and waffles." So finally comes and gets me and brings me home. My husband makes it to me to the car. So he works with the people they like go get a new tire because he's like, "Now I gotta rush." I'm like, "No, literally, take your time, get the new tire. I'm gonna go home and take another shower because it's a little hot in this car." Even with the AC, it was really hot that day. It was like, I don't know, 80, 90 degrees. And I was like, "You can even come home, take a shower. We're gonna eat. We're gonna just relax, and then we'll go up there." The doctor said I'm okay. So then we finally go up there, and they check me with the blue test, and they're like, "Yeah, you're ruptured. That's what they call it. And you're leaking. So we're gonna give you about." I think they ended up giving me like an hour or two this time. They didn't make me wait the whole time because last time I wanted to take my test for school when I was in labor with Destin, but this time I ain't have no schoolwork. I finished this semester. So they ended up starting the pitocin like after like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. They started at like 6:30. They started the pitocin. So the pitocin, I hate it. Okay, I hate it. Basically, it's making you go in active labor. So your baby's not ready to come out. Right, your water can burst, but the baby's not ready to come out. But once again, because you're leaking fluid, now the baby's not in the most protected space. So they're trying to get them out. So this medicine literally makes you start having contractions. Right. Now, I had already made up in my mind I didn't want the epidural. I didn't do it with Destin. However, I always say God gives us like this pregnancy amnesia where you have the baby and you literally forget how painful it was, okay? Until you're there again. And so the person starts kicking in. I'm like, "Oh my God, can I really do this again?" Right? But one thing I learned from even with Destin was it's all mental, right? Like, if you can literally, the contractions don't last very long. They're not like lasting for 30 minutes, right? So once you can get a rhythm of how long they last, you have to mentally take yourself somewhere else, right? And breathe through them, and they're gone, right? Now, of course, when the baby's closer to coming, they're back to back. So you can hardly keep your breath. But before that, it's a mental thing. Now, the thing I learned about Destin also, though, it is a mental thing. So, the whole time I was focused on like going to the beach or just different things that calm me. And I had praise and worship music playing. But the minute my husband said to me with Destin, he was like, "Babe, you don't have to do this with no meds. Like, nobody's like challenging you to do that, but you look like you're in so much pain." And I heard the word pain, and like I was like, "Oh my gosh, I am in pain. This is really hurting." And I started second guessing myself, but I ended up still doing it natural. I knew that from last time, so I was like, "This I can't let anybody take me anywhere else mentally. Like, I have to stay focused, right?" So now, what I realized with Destin in this time was, so with Destin, they checked me, and the nurse said you're at 16 centimeters, 5 to 6, right? And I kept telling her, I was like, "No, I have to be further than that because I feel like this next one is the baby. It's not no regular contraction, right? Because I feel like I have to poop. And if you've ever heard when you're in labor, once the baby's about to come, you feel like you have to poop, right?" She didn't believe me. And next thing you know, the baby comes sliding out, and she has to literally catch him before he falls on the floor with Destin, right? So I knew this one with Destin. So I'm like, okay, if this happens again, I know what's going on. I don't care what these people talking about. So come in, they check me the first time. They're like, "You're still at 3 centimeters." Now I was at 3 centimeters when I went to the doctor last, right? So I was like, "Oh my gosh, like these contractions are starting to really pick up, and I'm still at only 3. Like, what's going on?" So then the Pitocin, it increases every 30 minutes. So you start at 2, and then it goes 4, then it goes to 6, 8, and it increases. And the max it goes is 20. You don't want to go to 20, but the max it can go is 20. So they're moving it up. Now I had to get antibiotics as well. So they made it. They didn't increase it until, like I said, 6 something was when they started increasing it. To make sure all the antibiotics got in my system. And so, and because I had lost more fluid than I knew, they had to actually give me fluids because the baby, like at certain points, her heart rate would drop really drastically because of how much fluid I lost or whatever. So, so the contractions are coming, and I had praise and worship music playing, and I realized it was like the coolest thing ever because I always like, God, I just really want you here with me. Like, I want to do this with you because I know your intention was for childbirth not to be painful, right? And so, and for us to be able to do it all natural, not knocking about who needs meds because they definitely are helpful when I got it with KJ. But I know your original intent, so that means there is a way for me to get through this. Without using the meds, right? And so what he showed me was when I sang the songs, I guess the way you like, obviously they teach you to breathe like that, right? And it really does help. It really does help with labor. But what I realized is when I was singing praise and worship songs, I guess depending on your breathing in singing, it was allowing the contractions only to go but so high, right? So I was like, oh my gosh. So I was sitting there and I was just singing songs really loud. And my mom was like, Destiny, are you having contractions? And this is when, like, I didn't know at the time, but this is when the baby was like really close to coming out. And the thing I love is because, the hospital I delivered her at, they are natural initiative hospital. So they like put lavender on your pillow. They give you the ball, just different things to kind of help you stay focused on what you want to do, which is go natural. And so we were on the ball, and like that really helped. So if you're planning on having a kid, they usually don't tell you. You have to ask unless you tell them like your birthing plan that you want to do natural. But they can give you a peanut ball. They can give you the ball, the actual ball, the fitness ball. They can give you a bar. The bar is really helpful, especially when you get to the end, when you got to do that last push. It's really, really helpful. So those things you have to request it for most hospitals, but they do have available to give you. And so we were doing all that, the ball, and that was, and like walking, because obviously when you're in the bed, the gravity is going in the opposite direction. So you're trying to push a baby out, but you're laying in a bed. So you want to do like the ball, get on all fours, those kind of things, because you want to let the baby know we're trying to get you out, not stay up, right? And so my mom was like, Destiny, are you having contractions? She was like, because I'm looking at the screen and it's like going crazy, meaning like you're having back-to-back contractions. She was like, but you're not moving, like you're not screaming. And I said, the Lord just revealed to me that as I sing the songs, it will only allow the contraction to get so high, right? So I only feel so much pain. And so she was like, oh, that's why you're over there singing so loud, right? So we're at this part where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to poop, right? They always get really scared when you say that because they can't let you go to the bathroom depending on how consistent the contractions are, because you may be about to push out the baby. And so the first time I was like, I have to poop. Like, I have to poop. So she lets me go to the bathroom. And let's just be honest, when you're in the hospital, baby, there is no privacy. Like, you're literally booty's out, everything's out, okay? They took me to the bathroom, the door's wide open. I mean, it's just my mom and my husband, and they were still like, everything's all out. And so I was like, this is real. I really have to use the bathroom. So I use the bathroom. They help you go to the bathroom, whatever. And then another time I was like, I gotta go again. So now in my head, because of what happened with Destin, I know I don't care what these people say when they check me. This little girl's about to come. I can literally feel her body moving down, like inside of me. So they check me, right? And she's like, you're at 5'6", right? This is before the contractions started getting like crazy. So I'm like, okay. So after I go to the bathroom number 2, the second time, I'm like, I need you to check me again. Now, with they like because you ruptured, they don't want to keep checking you because they want to avoid infection. And that crap hurts. When you rupture, being checked hurts a million times worse than when before your water ruptures. So it's very, very, very painful. And I once again pushed the baby out natural, and I'm telling you, it's very painful, right? And so she's like, well, we don't really want to check you again yet because we just checked you less than 4 hours ago, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, I'm telling you, if I'm having to go to the bathroom back to back like this, the baby is closer than y'all think because I learned that with testing, right? And all I want to make sure is I'm not delivering a baby again without a doctor in the room. Not that anything bad happened, but there was just a nurse in there. Nobody was in there because I kept telling her, I think the baby's coming, and she didn't believe me. So the baby comes out and it's just her in there. So then all these people have to come rushing in there. It's just a little bit more hectic. So she's like, well, I'm gonna step out to go because she had to go turn something in for my results or whatever. And she's like, and I'll come back and see where you are. Literally, as she walked out the door, I'm standing up because I really want to stand because I feel like she's coming down and like do some like squats. So as she walks out the door, I'm like, Mom, oh my gosh, I'm about to poop on the floor, right? Call her back in here. So she comes back in, and I'm like, listen, I have to poop, and this ain't that other poop I just did. Like, this is real, right? And so she's like, okay, get on the table, because I have to check you. So I'm like, I have to poop. And she's like, Destiny, I need you to get on the table. You cannot stand right here at the floor. And I definitely can't check you standing up. So I go lay down in the bed, finally, like, because I'm having contractions back to back as this is happening. So you're like trying to move, but you're having contractions, trying to breathe, sing the song. Like, it'd be a lot happening at one time. So I finally lay down, and she checks me, and she's like, right? And I'm like, what is this lady about to say? Because like now these contractions are like, and I literally feel the baby coming down. So she checks me, she's like, there's like this balloon thing right here, and if with that there it makes you feel like you're 5'6" still. So like, but I can push through it, and it's like if I push through it, you're further, right? So she's like, let me call the other nurse to check behind me. So the other nurse comes in. She's like, yeah, no, she's definitely at 8-9, right? Going into 10, right? Now, as the lady is checking me, I'm like, I have to poop. Like, she's like, you cannot push because you don't have to poop. It's the baby about to come out. And I'm like, y'all telling me to hold this. I cannot, like, what do you want me to do? So the lady, and I'm like, I need the bar because I really like the bar, like I said, for that last push because you hold on to and like push it out, right? So my nurse is still in there. I think her name was Danielle. But anyways, so I'm like, yeah, Danielle. I'm like, Danielle, I have to poop, right? And the picture on the thumbnail is the picture that my husband took of me saying, I gotta poop. And I'm like laying like this. And she's like, Destiny, please don't poop. And so I said, so literally I'm having this contraction and I go, oh, like that. And it goes, so what we ended up realizing was even though my water ruptured, my water didn't fully break. And so the whole time they were checking me, the baby was trying to still basically go against the water still being, the sack still being there, if that makes sense. So that's why when they were checking me, it was seeming like I wasn't moving that whole time because even though I have ruptured, they still should have, my water still should have been broken, if that makes sense. So and that's the same thing that happened with Destin. So I'm like, so all of a sudden, and all this water came out. And I was like, oh, did you see that? I told you I have to poop. And she's like, Destiny, please don't push. And then like the next thing, the baby's head just popped up. I was like, oh, and there's no doctors in here. It's just me, my mom, and the nurse, right? And she's calling the people. She's like, we need somebody in here. We need somebody here. Because I had my kids at night the last 2 times. And if you know, there's usually like only one doctor in there because, it's not as much going on. Well, the last time I was there, it has been. But anyway, and so my mom's like, oh my gosh, her head. Somebody has to come get the baby out. And my husband's like, you get the baby out. You was talking about you going to deliver it. So mom was like, no, I can't do this. So I'm sitting there like, y'all, I'm about to push the baby. Like this baby's head is there, and I got the next push is coming. And so all of a sudden, my husband was like, it was like the FBI raid because like it was like all these doctors or nurses just ran there. The doctor was in another room, so we ended up the midwife ended up having to deliver her. But she came right out. And they put her right on you. They try to get her to cry and all that. But it was just I was so amazed because I ain't gonna hold you. When I got to that point, I was like, I have to poop. I was like, oh God, give me when she checked me and said, oh, you're still at 5'6". I was like, well, just give me that. Just give it to me. Because the pain I feel, I have to be further than 5'6". Because I know when you're getting close, those contractions are like literally knocking the breath out of you, right? And so that's the story of how Corinne was born. She came out crying, and just amazing. She was so everybody knows I've been saying this is my last child, right? I have 3 children biologically, 2 boys and a girl now. I only asked God for 2, a son and a daughter, and he gave me Destin. I always say Destin was my wild card, but Destin is destiny, right? And so I kept telling everybody, I'm done. The Lord approved me to only have 3 kids. But leading up to going into labor, a lot of people kept saying, so did God really say you're done? Like, or is this just something you want, right? And I'm like, no, he really said he was okay with me just having 3 kids. But I started getting in my head. So I was like, Lord, before I have the baby, give me confirmation that you're okay with me being done, right? Obviously, my husband's done too. So I would need another husband, I guess, if he said I gotta have more kids. I'm playing, but so I was like, Lord, give me confirmation that you gave me permission to be done having kids. Obviously, the Bible says, "Be fruitful, multiply," right? And so as they checked my to see my water broke, they were like, oh, we have your room ready, right? And they were like, oh, you're gonna be in LD7, right? So my labor and delivery room was number 7, which if you do not know, that's the number of completion, right? So I was like, okay, thank you, God. Like that was all I needed. But God is God, right? And he always just wants to like reconfirm himself. So when they put her on the scale, now they're sewing me up and doing all that stuff. So I'm like over here, like, oh my God, like don't talk to me. I just got because that part after having the baby is way more painful to me than having it because they got to check you, got to push the placenta out. Like that's the only thing about not having meds that I don't like because you feel all of it. Like literally when they take the baby out, the umbilical cord is still attached to you. So unless you hold your legs together, like it's like pulling. And you're like, y'all, I know you want to wipe the baby off and make sure she cry, but she's still attached to me. Like this hurts. So they're like, guess how big she is, right? And I'm like, I know she's at least 7 pounds because they had just checked me at the doctor and was like, she was weighing about 7 pounds. And mom was like, oh my gosh, Destiny, look at what she weighed. And it was 7 pounds and 7 ounces in room number 7. I was like, God, you're just so perfect, right? Literally. So that was really amazing to me. And just the experience in itself was it was one that I prayed for. I just like God, like I said, God, I want you to be in this with me. I want to do it with you because I know, excuse me, I know if I do it with you, it's going to be everything I imagined. And it was just so beautiful. But the biggest lesson I learned is how powerful our minds are. Like, and I tell my husband that every time I have a baby. Why is she calling me? Like, but I tell my husband that every time we have a baby, like it reminds me of just how powerful the mind is. And what I was telling him I learned this time was, if we took that same lesson in life, right? Like, those contractions were real. Like, they were real pain. It was like they they weren't imaginary, right? However, they only lasted but so long, and there was an end point. And I think about that in life, right? We're always, in every season, there's going to be something happening, good or bad, right? There's going to be something that you wish you could do differently. There's going to be something that you're doing well at. There's like, in every season of your life, something's going to be going on. But if you focus on the positive, if you focus on, this is where God wants me to be, this is what God wants me to be doing, it really minimizes the pain, or the trial, or the trauma, whatever, right? And so I told my husband, I'm really gonna take that with me and really implement it in life. So, like, when things are happening, like literally the day before I went into labor, there was this really big storm here, and near our laundry room there was a leak, and I was like, in my roof, like, but usually that would like freak me out, you know what I mean? But I was like, at the end of the day, I am an ambassador for Christ. God knows I need my house. God knows I need a good roof. Like, I'm not gonna stress over things that I don't have control over, right? And literally, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. It just, the rain was so bad that it was making the problem seem bigger than it was, right? And so that was probably the biggest lesson I learned, that in every season of my life I've had something going on that I'm like, God, this seems so bad. Somebody betrayed me, or money not looking like it's supposed to be, or whatever the case may be. But the reality is, now I don't even remember it, So that was probably the biggest lesson I learned. And the last thing that God kept telling me before I had a baby was, do not rush yourself out of a season that I have you in, right? And sometimes we do that. We can, where we are can seem so bad that we're like, oh my God, I can't wait till this is over. Excuse me. And I'm known for doing that, like really moving forward to the next thing. And I realized that sometimes you miss the lessons when you do that. But secondly, you really don't realize that when you get out of that season, you wish you were back, because there's just things that you were maybe able to, like one season I'm able to rest more than I am in another. So right now I'm in a rest season, and I'm like, I'm not going to try to busy myself out of this, because when I'm back in busy season, I'll be really tired, right? So yes, don't be anxious for anything. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and do the giveaway, because I've been sharing the story for about 40 minutes, and then I'll bring the baby on. She's still kind of asleep. If you know, she's like a couple days old, so they really just wake up to eat and go back to sleep. She's an amazing sleeper. Oh my gosh. I've always been known as the baby whisperer, even like with other people's kids before I started having kids. But she sleeps right now 6 to 7 hours at night. So it's amazing. Now, I don't do it the way like the doctors or nurses tell you to do it, because they'll tell you like, you should not like put the baby in the bed with you. You should not co-sleep, those kind of things. I don't believe in that. So I do let my baby sleep in the bed with me. Like, she has a bassinet right next to the bed. So like for comfort, she sleeps under me. I lay her in the bassinet. Or sometimes I'll leave her right next to me, like she's not like near anybody else. But that does get them to sleep longer, because I'm at, in the beginning, you're healing. And I think sometimes the nurses and them want you waking up every 2 hours. They want you to, try to feed a baby, try to do this, try to do that. That's not reality. Like, most kids don't eat every 2 hours. Like her, she eats every 3.5 to 4. Now, I do say it's weight based. So like, if your baby's 6 pounds and up, usually they don't eat as often as every 2 hours. My kids are huge, right? KJ was 8 pounds, 10 ounces. She was 7 pounds, 7 ounces. Destin was 6'13", and he was 2 weeks early. So my kids are really big, so their eating span is a little different. But once again, she eats. I do know I'm gonna feed her for about 40 minutes, though. I breastfeed, so I do know I'm gonna be feeding her for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But she's gonna sleep for about 4 to 5 hours after that. So she's doing amazing. So let me see if I can share this to do the giveaway. While I'm pulling this up, I do want to let you all know I didn't do it yet. She keeps calling me. Um, but I did want to let you guys know, because we were talking about it before, I technically went on maternity leave and I did get permission from the Lord to do it. I did decide to host the retreat masterclass and the business masterclass. So the retreat masterclass is $97. We are going to be doing it on June the 28th at 8 p.m. And that is for anyone who would like to learn how to host profitable retreats. I'm going to give you all the tea of how I've done it for the last 5 years, I think 4 or 5 years. And they've all been profitable. That we all I have made a profit from all of them. The last ones have definitely been at least 5-figure profit. Yeah, 5 figures. Yeah. But I'm not gonna give no numbers of how much it will make. I'll definitely give you all the details of how I do it. And I'll do it based on if you have a community and if you don't, because obviously my retreats are community based. They're only offered to my community, but I'll let you know the best ways to do it for both. So that is, once again, it's June 28th at 8 p.m. It's going to be on Zoom. For the first 10 people who sign up, I am going to be putting your name in a giveaway. We only have, I think, 7 spots left because I think 3 or 4 people already purchased for that because I put it in the email yesterday. But for the first 10 people only. So once I have 10, I'm not doing any more, even though you can still sign up for the masterclass. But for the first 10 people, I'm putting your name in a giveaway for a one-on-one session with me, not Prayerpist. Hey girl, a one-on-one session with me to go over how to plan your retreat. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because people were coming on. So for the first 10 people who sign up for the masterclass, I think we only have 7 spots left because I have 3 or 4 people that signed up. I got to look at it again already, but I'm going to pull one name and that person will meet with me one-on-one after the masterclass, and we'll go over all the details of how to plan your first retreat and make sure it's profitable, of course. And then the business soiree, I'm only taking 10 people. I'm only doing 1 for sure. I want to do 2 more, but like I said, I really want to rest. But I'm doing where we will get on Zoom and we'll be able to go over how to run your business God's way. And I'm going to give each person on the Zoom a strategy for their own business. And you can ask me all the questions you want. Now, I will say for the business soiree, please don't sign up if you're not ready to actually implement and do the work, because that kind of defeats the purpose, right? For the first 5 people, we only have 3 spots left, I believe, but for the first 5 people who sign up for that, you get it at a discounted price. So the regular price is $247. We'll be up there for 2 hours. You get it for $150. So for 2 hours, you get to get a full strategy for your business, along with asking all your questions, how to create your foundational work, all of that, and it'll be only $150 for the first 5 people. I do already have 2 people who signed up for that. So if you want any details about those, you can email me at info@realizingdestiny.com. If you want to do the retreat masterclass, you just go to realizingdestiny.com and the link is already on my page. Sign up for that. Okay. So info, let me put this in here really quick, and I'll do the winner giveaway, and then I'll get little baby girl. Thanks, y'all. Let me do that. All right, so info@realizedestiny if you want the business soiree information, and realizedestiny.com is where you'll go. You want to sign up for the masterclass. It's $97. If you want to sponsor someone, please let me know, because I'll still put you in the giveaway. I'll put you in the giveaway twice if you're there and want to sponsor someone. So please let me know. All right, so let me see if I can share my screen to do this really quickly, because I didn't want to be up here longer than an hour. All right, so these are the names of everybody who who filled out the survey. I'm so sorry, guys. And I can't say it's mama brand because literally it's not. I just be losing my train of thought sometimes. But these are all the names. If you did sign up for the masterclass or the business soiree and filled out, you had to fill out the survey though. Then you got an extra entry. I believe it was only one person who did both. That was Letitia Gray. And so here we go. I'm actually going to do 3. I'm going to be generous because as you see, it's a lot of people's names. And I just didn't think one would be fair. Even though, I mean, fair is fair, but I'll do 3. Unless the Lord tells me to do something differently. All right. And I'm trying to make sure I write these names down. Okay. So the first person is Aisha Shelton. All right. The next person is Natisha. I am not going to butcher her last name. All right. Let's do 5. I'll do 5. I need to get off here Friday and be like, I'm going to do it for everybody. All right, Letitia, looks like that second entry helped you out there, girl. All right. 2 more, and then we're done. All right, Renee. And the last but not least is Natasha. And she just texted me too. All right, let me stop sharing. All right, so the winners was Aisha, Letitia Gray. I had like 3 Letitias on there. Oh, hey, girl. Lene and Natasha. Those are our 5 winners. Once again, I will be doing another giveaway for anybody for the first 10 people who sign up for the retreat masterclass. That will be, it's called Retreating Profitably. And it is only $97. If you are a PFP member, let me know, because for PFP members, you do get it for only $49. That reminds me, the girl who signed up last night, I gotta let her know that. I meant to put that in an email. But those who are a part of PFP, whether current or previous members, you are able to join the masterclass for $49. So let me know. I gotta message her. Hold on, the other person who did, no, she's not. Okay. So so I'll give her the option to either sponsor somebody or I'll give her a refund for the other half. But if you're part of PFP, you can do it for $49 for the retreat masterclass. You'll have to email me because I have to create a separate link for you, or for you all. And I'll make sure I put that in the email too, so let you guys know. And then for the business soiree, that's going to be regular price because that I used to offer a completely separate business course, and I don't. But for the first 10 people, the first 5 people, it's only $150 for that course. But regularly $247. So if you want to do any of those, definitely let me know. The retreating masterclass is in June 28th, so it's not as much time. The other one is going to be on July 5th, I believe, when I'm doing that one. But thank you guys for your time. Thank you for coming up here, listening to my birthing story. And it was so, so, like I said, with my son's their birthdays were 2/8, which equaled 10, and they were both born on Sunday. So I was like, well, Lord, she can't come on a Friday. Like that's my other kids are born on Sunday. I was like, and June 9th is not the 10th, right? Which the next day would have been the 10th, right? But the Lord said, what is significant about June 9th? I mean, of course, my sister's birthday. And I just started, I was about to go off without showing the baby. I'm sorry. But I started bawling. Okay. And the reason why is because so June 8th of 2014. I gotta get the dates right. No, June 8th of 2013, right? That was a very, very, very traumatic year for me. As I was battling infertility, I changed my work schedule. It was just really tripping. My marriage was like trash, just being honest. And me and my husband had decided to do IUI. For those who do not know, that's insemination. That's where they take your significant other's sperm and inject it in you. They call it the turkey baster method. If you ever seen that Jennifer Lopez movie, that's that, right? And so we decided to do 3 rounds of that, I believe. And so June 8th, 2013, is when we were waiting to receive the call to see if it worked, right? So June 8th, 2013, they called and they said it didn't work, obviously. Not obviously, but I don't have a baby, right, from that time frame. And I was so distraught because I was like, now my only other option is IVF. Do I really want to spend that kind of money? And my marriage is failing just from what we've already been through, and a lot of that. And so it was a really tough time for me, right? And so June 9th, 2014 is when I went to the doctor because I was about to go to New York for my birthday. I was about to turn 25. I called my quarter century birthday celebration in New York City. And I started feeling sick, like I had a sinus infection or a cold. And my doctor always says, like, I read my body very well. Like, I can tell you, like, something right, right. So I went to the doctor, and it was Dr. Ruth. I loved her. And I said, Dr. Ruth, I have a trip coming up at the end of the month, and I'm not feeling well, so I need you to check me out. Just like make sure, I need to Z-pack anything, because I want to really enjoy my birthday. After everything I've been through, I really am at this space in my life where whenever it's time for me to have a baby, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and I just want to enjoy my life. And I said, so I just want to feel good for my birthday, so we can have a good time, me and my girls. Okay. So I come, and she's like, well, protocol, we require that you take a pregnancy test first, right? And I said, now, Dr. Ruth, I love you, girl. I love you, okay? But I'm not doing that today. Like, I've seen so many negative pregnancy tests, and I really want this month to just be positive. Like, I want to stay positive, stay in a positive mindset. I don't want to do that, I just really want to make sure I'm good. And she said, well, you have to take it. Like, that's our protocol, so I need you to take it. So I gave a little bit more pushback, but I ended up taking it. Any other time I would go see Dr. Ruth, her nurse comes in like this, and they're like, it was negative, and that's why you're here. This time, I mean, I'm in there dangling my feet, sitting on the table, like, when is taking them so long? Like, baby, all y'all did was check for a pregnancy. It's just dip the pee and stick in the pee, like, come on, So she's taking so long. And it's so sad when I tell the story because I had seen negative so often. I didn't, and some of my doctors said it wasn't going to happen at all. So the thought of it being a positive pregnancy test wasn't even in my mind. That's how many times it's been negative, right? And so the nurse comes in there, and she's fine. She finally comes in there. She's like, unfortunately, I can't give you the results this time. Like, girl, why not? you give them to me every other time. Like, what y'all know something new? Like, what do you mean? Like, once again, she's looking at me like, Stephanie, you don't know what this means? Right? And I'm like, no, I don't know what this means. Like, why are we doing the most today, y'all? I really just want to get a little Z-Pack, get a little antibiotics or something, a little cough, a little inhaler refill, and go about my business, okay? And she's like, you have to wait for Dr. Ruth. So I'm like, okay. So Dr. Ruth comes in and she's like, I figured out what's going on. Like, I was like, how? I said, you didn't even pull out your stethoscope yet. Like, I don't got time for this today. Like, this is how I'm talking to her. She's like, you don't know? I said, no. Like, all you did was a pregnancy test. She's like, right. I said, I don't have time for this today. Like, I really just want to make sure I'm okay so I can have some of my friends in New York. And she's like, Destiny, are you serious? And I'm like, are you serious? What are we doing here? And she was like, Destiny, you're pregnant. And I said, I told you not today, Dr. Ruth. I don't got time for this. And she's like, well, look, and she like, if you know her, she's like this really tall, thin lady with short hair. And so she's like, well, that wasn't the, she said, well, that wasn't the response I was hoping for. And I said, hold on, what did you just say? And she said, Destiny, you're pregnant. Girl, I broke down. I was like, what? Like, I had to say it one more time, and I just bawled. And she's like, there it goes. Bring it in. Give me a hug. It's really this time. Girl. And it was on my sister's birthday. And I'll never forget it. Because I had just called, and I'm getting emotional. Oh my God. Because I had just called my sister in the car to tell her happy birthday before I went into that appointment. And I just love the intentionality of God. I say that all the time, and even more often now, because I see every day how intentional He is, how His detail is just mind blowing sometimes. And so just to know that my first baby, I found out about on June 9th of 2014, right? And I ended that was his last confirmation of you're done, right? I received her on June 9th. And guys, when I tell you, like, because like I said, when they were checking me, when we first got to the hospital, they were like, oh, she should be here by 8:00, right? Because the Pitocin, like I said, it was moving so, like, the contractions were moving so quickly. But then when they checked me and I still was at 3, they was like, oh, she's probably not gonna come until tomorrow. Which I was like, oh, that's June 10th. Like, you know what I mean? And I kept saying she's not, and my sister kept saying, just keep her in there to 12:01, 12:02, right? And I was like, I just got this feeling in my spirit that she's coming today. And I kept telling my mom that. And the fact that she came, like, literally that last push was at 11:38. My placenta did not even come out until 12, I think they said 12:45 or something like that, right? So I just was like, he's just so intentional. He's like, just his attention to detail just makes you want to do it his way. It just makes you want to get it right, and not like from a perfectionist place, but from a place of, no, he really thought this all through, right? Like, I just was blown away, and I just broke down crying. Hey, and I just broke down crying because I was like, God, like, if you're that intentional with the conception date of my children and their names, and like, there's no way possible that you would want me to haphazardly parent them, right? Like, there's no way that I can be the parent to them that you've called me to be without seeking you. When it comes to chastisement, when it comes to rewarding them, when it comes to loving them, when it comes to speaking, over them, like, I just was blown away. I just was like, baby, you want me to be quiet? You just did it. I got nothing to say, right? Like, he's just amazing. And the other thing that was so cool, and I'm gonna go get her after this because she's moving for real. Is when they said at the beginning, we're gonna take you to LD7. I just looked at the sky and started laughing, because when we were in Dubai, now this is the other thing that's so funny. So I didn't find out I was pregnant until October, right? in regards to like a pregnancy test. However, before I left for Dubai, the Lord kept telling me I was pregnant, right? Like to the point where I went to God and was like, God, what do I need to pack for Dubai? And He told me to pack B6 and Unisum, which is something I had to take with Destin for morning sickness, right? And I was like, why did He have me pack this? Like I'm not pregnant, right? And if for those of you who went to Dubai, they'll tell you like I was nauseous and having motion sickness the whole time I was there. And I was like, what is going on? Like I took the test and I'm not pregnant, right? Like the test I took said I wasn't pregnant. But I like every on the plane, I was throwing up, like not like, crazy, but like I had literally had to have a bag with me because I was like, I've never suffered from motion sickness in my life. We went on a boat, everything. And I kept getting sick. So then I came back, but so when we were in Dubai, the Lord kept saying, "You reached your promise," right? And He kept saying, "You are in your promised land," right? And there was like so much confirmation just in everything we were doing. So the last day in Dubai, myself and my team missed our flight, and we ended up being stranded in Dubai. Okay. But before I left for Dubai, the Lord told me that I would end up having to use my hotel points to stay in a hotel in Dubai. And I was like, why? Like the penthouse we got for more than enough days. You know what I mean? Like even when we missed our flight, there were still a ladies at our penthouse. So we could have went back to the penthouse, right? And stayed there until our next flight. And he was like, no, I told you you're gonna stay in a hotel, right? And so at first I was like really frustrated, like we is in a different country, baby. We not in California in America. Like we in Dubai. I don't want to play about getting back to the America, okay? And so we ended up, so he told me what hotel to stay at. We picked the hotel and I had, because my house had flooded, I had all those Hilton Honors points and we were able to stay in the hotel for free, right? He told me what hotel to stay in, and the hotel we ended up staying in to be shuttled from the airport back to the airport was on Damascus Road. And the floor we were on was number 7. And he was like, this is the completion of the trip. I needed you to stay one more day because it's something in the spiritual realm. But this is the completion of the trip. And this is where you fully walk into your promise. And so the fact that they were saying you're in labor and delivery 7, I immediately took me back there. And I was like, literally in this room, I'm birthing my promise. Like, it was just like, I'm probably gonna cry after this live because like I said, when you really get to know God, when you really get to know Him intimately, when you really get to know Him as your Father, and you really it's really hard when you grew up not really having a real relationship with dad, right? Where they either are super provider or they're super, they're not him. I'll put it that way, right? And then you meet him and you see how he's just so intentional. You just see how he's just so gentle and he's so caring, and he like I literally be blown. Like I be sitting over here like, God, like you really do care. Right? And so the fact that they took me into labor and delivery 7 and I literally birthed my promise out in that room. And then at our hospital they have the triage, then you go into your labor and delivery room, and then you go to what they call mother baby bonding room. So where I stayed for the 2 days that I was in the hospital, it's called the mother baby. It's a huge suite. It was really nice too. Was number 14. So like double 7, right? I was like, I'm done. Okay. I'm just thrilled. I'm just gonna sit here, and they like have some of the best food and best catering to you. But anyways, so let me bring the baby back in this live because I'm here for an hour and 10 minutes. But if you're just coming on, I definitely would recommend rewatching this. I know it's an hour, guys. I'm sorry, but it was really good. I shared my birthing story in the beginning for Corinne, and then I announced the winners. We ended up choosing 5. And then I just share what I share. But 1 second, guys. Sleeping Beauty. people. All right. So without further ado, we got the little princess. She's still kind of asleep. Corinne, you say hi to the people. Hi. She said I gave y'all one eye. So this is her. She's a little chunky little thing, y'all. Oh, now you want to open your eyes and smile? So this is Corinne. Corinne Zoe Thomas. Right? Right? She has such a personality already. All my kids came out with a personality, okay? But she be over here like this. She like, you still looking at me? Oh, now you're opening your eyes? You're probably hungry too, huh? Say hi. No. Hi, mama. Ooh, that's a big one. Yeah. Yeah. You were asleep for a really long time. I really let you sleep a long time. I did. Yeah. I did. I tried to let you get your beauty sleep. But all right, guys, I'm gonna probably have to go feed her soon. And it smells like she did something in this diaper here. So what she laughing? You poo poo? Did you poo poo? You want me to tell people your business? Okay, I'm sorry. I ain't trying to tell you business. But I just stare at. I'm like, I really have a daughter. Like, I am here to announce that Destin is doing great. Okay, he was questionable. Okay, because he is really really a mama's boy. At night it gets a little questionable because he's so used to like sleeping up under me, so I have to be like, you gotta sleep under your daddy, baby, or go in your own bed. Um, but overall, he's like, this is my little baby sister. Hey, baby sister. KJ loves her. You know, KJ's 8, so he's like, can I help her? Can I change her diaper? Like KJ is that. Like he's the big brother. She ain't gonna have to lift a finger, okay? And then of course my husband, he is over the moon, okay? So we are super super excited. You guys, of course, will see her in person at some point because if you're going to Bali, she'll be in Bali, right? You gonna go to Bali with us? You gonna ride elephants? No, not yet. But I love the kid impression. But I'm just overjoyed. I'm super excited. And I'm really excited just in the space that God has me in. And just like really in a place of like, I don't know, like gratitude and not being in a hurry to like do more, like I just, I'm like, I just want to breathe. And it's so funny because the beginning of this year, the song on the Jubilee album of Maverick City, God kept having me listen to that song, Breathe. And I played it in the room too. But yeah, so I just am in a space of like rest, breathing, and really just being intentional with God. And like, it's really loud right now. Like, if you're on social media, if you're like around people, everything's so loud and dramatic. And it's a lot for me. So I just want to enjoy not loudness, if that makes sense. Oh, you want milk? Okay, I give you milk, girlfriend. I give you milk. Don't open your mouth. You want to get kids? All right, guys. I hope you have a great day. For those who won, I'm gonna email you because I have all of your emails. But it was Aisha, Letitia Gray, excuse me, Lene Dow, and Natasha Bennett. Those are the 5 people who won. I did announce that I'm hosting the retreat masterclass for those of you who filled out the survey and said you would like to learn about hosting retreats. It is $97 if you're not a PFP member. If you are a PFP member, it's only $49. And it's on June 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's $49 if you are a PFP member, whether current or previous. You just had to be in PFP at some point in your life. It's $49. It's $97 if you're not a PFP member. For the first 10 people, you'll get entered into a giveaway. And I will pull one name and I will meet with that person one-on-one to help you plan out your first retreat. It's an hour session, so come with something. We want to have you do everything, but it'll be for 1 hour. And then I'm also doing the business soiree that'll be with only 10 people, where we get on and we will break down your business. Okay, honey bunch. We'll break down your business in those 2 hours. You can ask all the questions you want. It's the regular price is $247, but for the first 5, it's $150. And I think already 2 people have purchased that. So if you want any of those details, either email me at info@realizingnDestiny. I promise I'm not patting her as loud as it sounds. Or for the retreat course, if you're not a PFP member, just go to realizingnDestiny.com and the link is up there. But yes, Natasha, you did win. All right, guys. Love you. Love you. Love you. I am planning on doing live prayer again at some point. I just don't know when. But I love you all. And thank you for being on this journey with me. You going to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yes. Thank you, girl. All right. Bye, y'all.